I'm going to speak to you about the benefits of volunteering. But I think I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, looking at the audience. Sometime around 1999, I was looking for a spiritual community of like-minded souls. I visited a couple of downtown churches, but then attended a wedding officiated by Norma Drazowicz. She was a member of this congregation and a lay chaplain. And she was very warm and funny during the wedding, and quite spiritual. And so I asked her about the church, and then attended a couple of UU services held in the Grant Park High School cafeteria. This building was just being finished. I knew only two people in the whole group, Professor Don Bailey and Craig Edwards, but it was enough. I felt a connection. I joined the congregation in earnest in September 2001. I was a single dad with 2 young daughters. I knew nothing about being a UU, but at that time, the 7 principals. There are now 8. As a parent, I was asked to help out if I wanted to help out with Sunday school. And with that, my UU volunteering life began. I helped out with Sunday school for about 6 years. In the old days, Steve Lennon put together a list of people, mostly men, who would come early on Sunday to shovel the steps and the ramp on snowy days. I did that for 2 or 3 years. One spring morning in 2004 or 2005, Vic Hooper was our choir director and guided our choir to such a musical crescendo that everyone just wasn't rubbing their hands, they were clapping, including me, just like we saw this morning actually for Kelly. With that, I joined the choir and have sung with them ever since. We are like a family. We were like a little family within the family. I joined the Green Action Committee led by Carolyn Garlick and Peter Miller because they were doing interesting work on environmental issues. I was on the committee for 5 or 6 years. My pet issue was bicycling as a means of transportation and commuting. In my high school years, I worked as a landscaper for a summer job, so I volunteer for the annual spring cleanup when I can. We clean outside, but inside as well, if that's your preference. It's a fun day and a great way to meet new people. Our next cleanup is coming soon on Saturday, May 9th. The sign-up is just outside in the sanctuary. About 2010, I was asked to help out with the pledge drive and have been a canvasser whenever I've been asked since then. It's not really difficult, especially now when much of the information comes from an online survey, and I happen to know they were looking for a few more canvassers this year. On the other hand, I've been an usher on several Sundays. These are the volunteers that put out the hymnals and send the offering bowls through the congregation. After the service, they count and register the offering in the privacy of the office upstairs. I retired from teaching in 2020, and after COVID settled down, I started helping out with the food bank on Thursday mornings, organized and led by Brian Cloa. This is a Harvest-sponsored program that distributes foodstuffs to about 50 families. There are about 10 volunteers every Thursday helping, and if you want to warm your own heart, try handing out food to needy people, some speaking a foreign language, some old, some in diapers. And you are in the comfort of your own sanctuary. I recommend it. 3 years ago, I was asked to sit on the board of directors. I was leery, I didn't have a lot of board experience. I was aware of the board, but not what they actually did. Over the last 3 years, I've learned that the board doesn't initiate any programs or events, committees do that. But the board oversees the committees and the budget. They keep the heat on and pay the taxes and pay for our programs. I got my feet wet in the first year. I organized the staff Christmas party, was secretary with Allison Bard in my second year, and moved to treasurer in this last year. Kind of a steep learning curve, but everybody there, I had nothing to be leery about. I was surrounded by people who helped me learn each job and task. I want to thank Norm Cobb, Peter Miller, and Claire for being mentors for me on the board. If you want to understand this church, how this church works, let the Volunteer Resources Committee know that you'd like to have the board experience. The benefits of volunteering: being engaged, building friendships, getting the work done, contribution, and being an active spirit within this community. Thank you.
Canada's National Volunteer Week gives us an opportunity to pay attention to our terrific volunteers and super staff who work with volunteers. We owe a debt of gratitude to you all in making this a vital congregation, not only to our members and friends, but within the city of Winnipeg. One of the goals of Volunteer Canada for the next year is to ignite volunteerism, to share stories and encourage everyone to get involved and contribute. So here's my shared story, quick bookends about my church volunteering. I first volunteered in the late 80s in the church nursery because I couldn't peel our fearful 3-year-old son off my legs. So helping in the nursery worked for us and for the church. This same son just turned 40 and is a high school teacher in Alberta. How time flies. Now we sneak in hugs with the grandkids there whenever we can. I now volunteer mainly on the Volunteer Resources team, trying to encourage and support our volunteers, our board and committees. The flexibility allows me to be away for about half the year in northwestern Ontario and Alberta. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to attend Sunday services online while I'm away. I've made good friends and developed a solid support system here. I feel useful and appreciate the mental stimulation of learning, planning, and problem solving. Has volunteering helped keep the gray matter in my brain healthier? The part that processes information, controls movement, and manages memory and emotions? Possibly, but I'm the first to admit that the memory piece is not going so well. Casey Stengel says, there are 3 kinds of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who say, what happened? We gather here to celebrate the many fine people who make things happen at this church. Our celebration begins with an imaginary potluck lunch. Just a second. Close enough, eh? The board of directors decided to bring comfort food for us all. Their steady and thoughtful attention all year long brings great comfort and security. Bring on the lasagna and the chicken pot pie. SunServe, the Sunday services team, is bringing us substantial vegan burgers and hamburgers for us to chew on. They're loaded with protein and much food for thought. The Adult Programs Committee has decided on chili. Some of it's spicy, some of it's mild, but it all gasses us up and is delicious. The Thursday Harvest Group is bringing fish, referencing the story of Jesus feeding 5,000 by passing around a basket of fish. The Save the Plate volunteer team breaks bread with many community organizations: naan, ciabatta buns, and bannock, Winnipeg rye, and yes, raisin bread. They're bringing all types to the potluck. Covenant groups and the Humanist group decided to delve deep with a variety of deep dish pizza. Yum. The Properties Committee is making us salads and homemade salad dressing. They'll use the extra dressing to help lubricate the building's aging joints. The Knitting Group is bringing herbal tea, kept piping hot with the cutest knit kitty cat tea cozies. The RE team decided to make cinnamon buns, tenderly working the dough, adding just enough yeast and sugar to make the dough rise, with the same care that they give to our children and youth. The Volunteer Resources Committee will make gluten-free vegan muffins, there's a few over there, to reach out to those with food allergies or preferences. Members of the choir are bringing a variety of yummy desserts, torts and pies to accompany their sweet singing. More sweets. Both the Finance Committee and the Endowment Fund Group are offering chocolate dollars. Or is it chocolate for dollars? The IT folks have picked up many meters of red and black licorice. Not only are they tasty, but they'll help provide alternate pathways to sound in the sanctuary when it's needed. We have about 20 active committees with even more occasional projects and events. Further analogies may take an hour or so. Let's not. Doesn't all this make you hungry? Think for a moment about what feeds you, your likes and dislikes. What sustains you and brings you energy? Some of us might like to volunteer a bit less. Others may want to try something different. There's room for that. Others in the congregation may want to start volunteering but may not know how or what to choose to do. Please see us at the back at the end of the service if you'd like to further explore volunteering, or grab a volunteer opportunities flyer from the lobby pamphlet rack. You're also welcome to email us anytime at vrc@uuwinnipeg.mb.ca with your ideas. Have fun connecting with one another, everyone. A big hug of thanks to our wonderful volunteers and staff.
Oops. Good morning again. I look so techie, eh, with the computer. My printer didn't work this morning. Earlier this morning, we met Mrs. Goose and her rather creative approach to roof repair. Pots, pans, kettles, and yes, even the bread box. And as funny as that story is, I think many communities, including ours, can relate. Not because we haven't been caring for this place, quite the opposite. For years, people in this congregation have quietly taken care of things, solved problems, made things work, and done what needed to be done, often without much recognition. And sometimes those drips take more time than we expect and more energy than we planned for. So we adjusted. We worked around things. We made do. My computer just shut down. Oh, there it is. So we adjusted. There we are. We got very creative with our own pots and pans. And in our case, sometimes that was quite literal. We have spent a lot of time on the roof above the foyer. We shoveled snow off that flat roof because we knew melting snow would drip into the foyer. My goodness, I need to get better at this. We patched ceilings, patched walls, and then patched them again. For years, we tried to figure out where the water was getting in. And at times, we had buckets and garbage cans in the foyer catching drips. It really did feel a little like our version of Mrs. Goose. But we kept at it. And last fall, we finally isolated the problem to one specific spot. Roofers came back and found a substantial hole where the roof and wall connected, the actual source of the problem. And now it's fixed. Which means, yeah, woohoo, absolutely woohoo. Which means we can get to move from fixing to creating, from patching to painting, from survival mode to renewal mode. And I think that's true of more than just our roof. It may even be true of us. Like many communities, we spent years simply trying to keep things going. Through COVID, through uncertainty, through changing rhythms, through seasons where a few people carried a lot. We adapted. We kept showing up. We kept this community alive, even while losing some members along the way. But now, we're feeling something different. I'm feeling something different. Are you feeling something different? There's an energy. It's new possibilities, new people, growth, renewal. And feeling is worthy of celebrating. This community is shaped and held by people giving what they can, when they can, in ways that really matter. Sunday services, religious exploration, the board, music, hospitality, pastoral care, property care, and so many others. And there are there are also a few people, and you know who you are, who have probably carried more than their share, quietly making sure things keep working, lights stay on, and programs keep running. That kind of care matters more than we can say. So thank you. And I also want to name something that often gets overlooked. Simply being here matters too. Walking through these doors on Sunday morning matters. Being online matters. Singing together, listening deeply, laughing, drinking coffee, welcoming someone new, sitting beside one another in times of joy and in times of struggle. Your presence helps create the aliveness in this place. It helps create the warmth people feel when they walk through the doors. Community isn't only built by committees and paintbrushes and raking leaves. Sometimes it's built simply by showing up and being part of one another's lives. And that matters deeply. And now, this feels like one of those joyful moments in life of a community where we get to build together. Like Bromley had said, on May 9th, we have an all-hands-on-deck day, a spring cleanup, inside and out. I'll be there, and I'd love it if you'd consider joining me. And looking ahead, we'll also be painting the foyer and the sanctuary sometime before fall. It's a bigger project, for sure, but a meaningful one. The kind of project where you can walk away and think, I helped with that. It feels a little like old barn raisings. Neighbors weren't there because they all knew how to build barns. Thankfully, that wasn't required. They came because everyone had something to offer. Some built, some handed tools, some made snacks and tea, and maybe someone brought wine for after. And at the end of the day, yes, there was a barn built. but there was also community built. So this is simply an invitation. There's a sign-up sheet at the table at the back of the sanctuary. It's a one-time opportunity, and it's for all hands on deck. A one-time opportunity saying yes simply means I can help this time. And for families, bring your children. Put them on your back if they're little, or let them work alongside their community. Let them see what it looks like when people care for a place together. Because the kind of community we're building here is one that knows how to survive the drips. But even more importantly, it knows how to renew together. And maybe that begins today with a few more of us saying, I can help.